Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Essays in Espresso podcast. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode. This is going to be an E3 rundown. We talk about all the different conferences and announcements, all that jazz. But before we get into that, I am joined by my cohorts. Boken, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. I also want to apologize for my audio today, but there's like a heat wave outside and I refuse to do my setup where I seal off part of my room and then sit behind it.
Where you sit behind a blanket like a madman.
Yeah.
I guarantee no one will notice. And Acer.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. There's construction happening around me, so there may be noises coming in. This isn't one of those episodes where you get to complain that there's background noise. I can't control the construction. And also, we'll have to scroll a lot because we're going to be looking at the games that were announced.
Yes, so this was overall not a fantastic E3, gotta say.
What?
But there were a few.
What?
There was some.
Daniel, I'm just doing a bit of gamer humor there.
Haha. Which conference should we go over first? Ubisoft?
No, the first one, right?
Summer Game Fest.
Summer
What is wrong with you, Daniel?
Okay, I don't know. Was that the first one?
Yes.
Yeah?
I didn't even understand what this was and why it happened.
I thought it was fine.
Me neither. That's why my brain kind of... I don't know. So, wait.
No, I was like, did Jeff Keighley just plan a counter event for E3 or what is going on? Like, but I don't even know if these were connected.
If you want my guess, I think he knows that E3 is going the way of the dodo, so he's like, I'm going to do my own E3 with blackjack and hookers.
Mm.
And he just does it 1 day or 2 days before E3?
No, it's the kickoff.
But then why wasn't it called E3?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't a part of E3. This is Jeff Keighley. He's just a maverick. He's just like on his own.
Then he sits down on Twitch and co-streams the E3 conferences and makes money off that. What a prick.
He's the Zack Snyder of the gaming industry, Bogan. We had a long Zack Snyder talk before this recording, so that's...
Yes, we did.
Anyways...
longer than it needed to be, just like his movies.
Ouch. Anyways, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Are you interested in that? That was the first thing they
Borderlands?
showed.
This is Borderlands or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't give a shit about Borderlands.
What? You're insane. Bogan, tell him.
Dude, the moment Ashley Birch comes on stage, I just roll my eyes and shut my brain off.
Who is that?
She's probably... That was Ashley Birch, right? Tiny Tina?
Yeah, she did the voice of Tiny Tina.
And she's probably a fine person, but she voices the most annoying characters. She voices Tiny Tina, she voices Chloe in Life is Strange.
I was going to say, I find Tiny Tina to be incredibly annoying, and I don't like that they're putting her so front and center in this franchise.
Yeah, somehow this hasn't reached Gearbox yet, that this is a really annoying character that no one wants to listen to.
So is Claptrap.
Yeah.
Borderlands is garbage.
No, Borderlands is... Bogan, do you like meme humor?
I sure love me some memes.
You know, it's funny because like the core idea, the core conceit of Borderlands is solid. Diablo with guns, great, but it's boring. Like I beat the first Borderlands, and by the end of it, I was like, it's so done with that game.
I always enjoy. So I don't. Okay, I'm gonna drop the act. I'm not a big Borderlands fan. I think they're fine. I played the second one on my PlayStation 3 when I was like, however old I was. And I was like, yep, that's sure 50 hours I spent just 100%ing my way through this.
Why would you? Why?
I was a teenager. I didn't have anything better to do. And then I got the pre-sequel given to me by PlayStation Plus or something a year or 2 years ago. And I was like...
I was always confused by that. What is the pre-sequel? Is it just another Borderlands game? Is it just more of the same?
It's just another Borderlands game.
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. There's not much to say about Borderlands.
Yeah.
There's Metal Slug Tactics, which
no one cares.
looks all right.
Death Stranding, director's cut.
Okay.
That's more interesting. See, what Sony's doing, Sony realizes, oh, hey, we can't make full-length PlayStation 5 games, but what we can do, well, we can't make them with a quick turnaround, but what we can do is we can do Miles Morales, and we can do a Final Fantasy VII with Yuffie, and now we're getting Hideo Kojima. Like, we can just write these companies $10 million checks so that we have some content. It won't be a lot, but it'll be enough for some people to justify upgrading to the next console generation.
Yeah, pretty much. What even is going to be new in this version of the game?
He's in
It's finally going to contain Kojima's full vision that he apparently was never able to do in his own studio.
Give me the Kojima cut. No, didn't he? Didn't Kojima? Wasn't he explaining like COVID came and it changed some of his opinions about stuff, and now he's gonna tweak it a bit or something? I wasn't listening to what he was saying.
No idea.
I wasn't.
I
was listening. I wasn't reading the subtitles. You haven't played Death Stranding?
No.
Oh my God, Bogan, are you not a real gamer?
I haven't played it either.
Oh my God. Hey,
anyway,
do you guys think Abandoned is secretly a Silent Hill game?
No. Wait, what is Abandoned?
It's a PlayStation 5 exclusive horror game. And there's a lot of hints, or people are creating hints, they're drawing conclusions, whether or not that's actually Hideo Kojima. And, like, you know me, I have no energy for this stuff anymore. I've had the Silent Hill community up my asshole with this stuff, and I don't care. I don't care. But this one has legs. I'm not
you
gonna...
seem to be weirdly informed on this thing that you have no energy for, and that you just brought up
well,
in our discussion.
See, because I didn't have energy for it, and I was like, ugh, okay, so what are they saying, so I can just tell them to fuck off. And I went over it, and I was like, no, you know what, that actually is way more solid. Because back in, like, the Metal Gear Solid 5 pre-release, people were making all these crazy charts like, oh my God, what if Snake is gonna have a head transplant? Because the doctor looks like this other doctor who's gonna do a real, like, blah, blah, it's just these wild theories. This one looks like there are links here to Kojima, which I'm like, that is like the studio went on record saying that I think they explained it this way, that Abandoned is not the real name. The real name starts with an S and ends with an L. What horror franchise could that be? And there's stuff like that. Okay. I think, like, the game director's name, if you translate it to Japanese, it comes out as Hideo, or it comes out as Kojima. It's a bunch of stuff like that. And he has the same, like, his name is like Hassan Kamarad or something like that. And it's like HK, Hideo Kojima. It's a bunch of that sort of stuff. And I'm like, either this is a massive coincidence, and you guys are playing this up for free marketing, in which case, more power to you, or this is Kojima. But there's no way that this is, like, you people are definitely aware of what you're doing here. But my thinking is, with this, like, I refuse to believe it, because why would Hideo Kojima, now that he has his own studio, why would he make Silent Hill? Why would he go to Konami and give them a game? Wouldn't he just make his own game? People, wake up! Anyways, Jurassic World Evolution 2?
we're not talking about that. Yeah.
Can we talk about the trend of bringing in these celebrities to I don't know, give games more I don't know what they're doing.
legitimacy.
I don't understand why. Is Jeff Goldblum really that much of a whore that he needs to like shill this stupid ass Jurassic Park game?
I think Jeff Goldblum is a gamer. He was probably not wanting for money.
Probably not, but I mean, I think there are a lot of. Well, actually, it's surely not an ego thing. I feel like this E3 there were a lot more celebrities than usual.
Yeah.
And it was kind of annoying.
Yeah. I don't want Hollywood mixing with my video games. Nothing good comes out of there.
This 4-way stream with like Hannibal or whatever his name is, the comedian, and then I think Geoff Keighley.
Yeah.
It was fucking embarrassing.
And it was like 30 seconds long. They were beta testing some game, and they managed to get 30 seconds out of it or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Did you guys know that Hannibal Buress was the guy who outed Bill Cosby?
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was like, look at all these statements by all these women. I'm not making it up. So yeah, he's cool in my book for that. Jeff Goldblum, however, he can die in a ditch now. He's fine. But no, I don't care about Jurassic World. Hey, what about Lost Ark? Both of you must have loved that because it's an MMORPG.
The fuck is Lost Ark?
It's an MMORPG.
Did you just make that up?
No.
I play one MMORPG.
Yeah, you love all of them.
Just one.
Yeah, playing one MMORPG kind of excludes you from playing any other.
Oh my god.
Pretty much.
Are you guys saying that you're not gonna get what's Amazon's service?
What the
Prime
fuck is
Gaming?
Lost Ark? I don't even see this in the list.
No, it wasn't a game that was announced. It was an advertise. So Amazon paid for a lot of this, and there's a lot of advertisements for Prime Gaming, and Lost Ark was one of the advertisements they made. And now they managed to advertise in. They advertised in our podcast too. I'll collect the checks for us, guys. No, I don't care about this. A new Call of Duty.
What?
A
new Call of Duty?
New Call? Is that? I don't see that.
I think that, no,
Are
that was
you just
another ad.
you're either making shit up or you're jumping around in
No, I
conferences?
just watched it. I'm not jumping around. So the list you guys are reading
You
doesn't
are!
include... No, the list you guys are reading doesn't include all the advertisements.
Fuck the advertisements.
Also, there wasn't a new Call of Duty. There was some shitty new patch or DLC.
Yeah, there's like a new season or some crap.
Dude, oh my god. Who cares?
Okay, there's a new Among Us thing coming.
Who cares? Daniel, talk
Dude.
about fucking Tales of Arise. Get it over with.
No, Shuhei Yoshida was there. He was talking about Salt and Sacrifice and Solar Ash. Solar,
Well, yeah,
I think
actually,
Solar Ash is by the guys who made Fury, isn't it?
No. That's
Hyper Light
Hyperlight
Drifter.
Drifter.
I was
That's
gonna
what-
say, Solar... It looks really good. Solar Ash looks really cool.
Did it? Like, I'm looking forward to that game. That was one of my quote-unquote highlights, but I feel like that gameplay trailer didn't particularly show anything interesting. I trust those developers to come up with something cool. And it looked graphically cool, but...
I don't know.
No, but-
I still think it looks interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
What
Drifter was a
looked
really good
interesting there? He was running around on some giant thing, and he activated a bunch of orbs, and then the gameplay was over.
Yeah, but it's the same with the Death Stranding director's cut. It's like these people, I believe they'll do something good with this. If it had been David Cage and he'd been like, check out my trailer where a guy activates a bunch of orbs, I'd been like, man, get out of here. I don't want to watch this.
I'm not necessarily saying this was like an amazing trailer. I'm just saying though, like, I'm still excited for the game. It looks like a good game.
Me too.
Did you guys play Salt and Sacrifice? Salt and Sanctuary?
Yeah, I did.
Was it good?
I played it a little bit.
No. I mean, it was
It was
okay,
okay.
but
God.
I'm just so done with Souls games.
I think it's more impressive that game was made by a married couple. Like, it was just made by like two people, which When looking at it from that context, it's like it's really, really impressive. But like
Yeah,
as its own
sure.
game,
As its own game, it was okay. It was kind of obnoxious in parts. I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks exactly like the old game. I'm seeing nothing new here.
People often say that
it as solid.
People often say that we sound like an old married couple. Maybe we guys should make a game together.
In a polyamorous relationship.
Hey, it's 2021, baby.
Yep.
What do you think about?
I'm not gonna say anything about Tales of Rise because I've already talked about it. I'm looking forward to it. Still looks good.
Hey, you're jumping over a lot here.
We don't have to talk about everything.
Yeah,
no, but I have thoughts on so much.
We probably shouldn't be talking about everything.
I have so many thoughts written down. Chivalry 2. There was a very epic trailer, but I feel like that's one of those games where 12-year-olds will yell racial slurs at me in the chat.
No, yeah.
Oh, there was a Valorant thing, Bogan. Does anybody care about that?
Dude, oh my god, they had literally a 3-second teaser of the new agent. And it was like, what? Why? Everyone who cares about Valorant knows there's a new agent coming. In fact, they revealed it yesterday. I don't know why they showed this.
I care very deeply about it, Bogan, and I didn't know.
Also, it was Robot Helm. If you care about Valorant, that's not going to tell you anything.
Okay, fine. How about New World? That's another MMORPG from Amazon.
I don't care. Dude, please.
Okay,
this is going to be long. This is going to take like fucking 5 hours if we go at this pace.
Well, how about that Smite/Stranger Things crossover, huh?
Hey, I didn't write that down. In good conscience, I couldn't do it.
I will say, though, as a quick thing, 2B in Fall Guys looks absolutely horrendous. Like,
see, I wrote that down, but I have a few things I want to say before we can move on to Elden Ring. Okay. First of all, and I'm gonna. Okay, so Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. What I noticed when that came up originally, and this was a big trend during this E3, a lot of multiplayer. A lot of, you can play this with your friends. You can sit down and invite your buddies to play over. Like, there were so many 4-player co-op games here. It was astonishing. It was like everybody was trying to do a Left 4 Dead or a Borderlands or a whatever. That was very, I think that's... I was so mad because there was so much of it. And I was like, I don't play games with other people. I hate other people. I have to do a podcast with them. You think I'm going to play a game with them?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a thing for me for the last years too, especially in Microsoft conferences. It's always either these dumb AAA games that I don't care about, or it's like these small co-op indie games that I also don't care about.
Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is, this is another theme I noticed, and we've talked about this before. It was a Planet of Lana.
Yeah, that looked
cool.
So,
no, see, it didn't. Here's the thing, Bogan, and we had this argument before with when the deer had the antlers which lit up the area a few years back.
Oh yeah.
When you're making an indie game, the great thing about it is that you don't have corporations looking over your neck. You can actually do whatever you want to do. And all of these people think, I'm gonna make Eco again. Why don't you do like Ratchet or Jack, or like, why don't you do something cool? Why is every indie game like, look at this soft lighting and it's so delicate and it stars a little child and it's the innocence of the wild and it's like...
You're being very vague about what Ico is.
No, I'm saying I love Ico, but all of these indie games, it's the same with Tunic, which was also announced. It's like these cuddly, soft things. Like, why? I want an indie game with edge.
So you're saying because Ico exists, no one is allowed to make another game with like nice colors and friendly atmosphere?
No. I'm not saying
small
that.
Boy?
I'm saying
he's saying that everyone is aping Ico too much.
I don't think it is.
Well, I'm not even saying that. It's more like why does every single one of these games always go down to this same generic, it's artsy and it's so soft and it's this, ooh, look at this and blobbity bloopity. Like, where is the indie game that's just like Jack X? That's just like a super badass guys on big cars shooting at each other. I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's not this game.
I know that. I'm not saying this about this game. Like, this game is probably fine.
I was happy to see like a nice atmosphere in a game, and it kind of looked like it reminded me of Heart of Darkness, of course, in a non-fucked up way, but just the camera and the movement of the characters. I was happy to see a bunch of blues and greens and nice music and a cute animal for once.
Oh yeah.
Well, a while back, I recommended an indie game called Valhalla, which is this like it was a pretty. It's not like super edgy, but like it does deal with like the sexuality of the characters pretty freely.
See, and even that, I'm just like, remember the 2000s? I think that was when we perfected the craft of edginess. And I want that edge back. That sort of kid-friendly, ooh, how badass.
Are you talking about shit like Vex?
I don't know what that is. I'm talking
it was an edgy platformer with this little, like, gremlin with claws. And it was like, it's a platformer, but it's cool because the main character's all edgy.
I'm
he
talking...
can slash at things. It's a fucking terrible
I'm talking about Ratchet Deadlocked. I'm talking about Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm talking about that 2000s hyper-distilled edge. I want it back. And none of these indies are doing it for me. And if I want to play a soft, artsy-fartsy game, well, boy, why would I play... I feel like these indie games, they're too generic, is I guess what I'm saying. But...
It is a bit generic,
maybe that's just me.
But I'm still happy about getting a more... Well, there was a whole wholesome games showcase, which out of those games, like, that was the most I wish-listed on Steam from this entire conference. Not that those games all looked amazing, but I was like, oh, this looks nice, and there's some interesting gameplay premise here. So that's the most I'm getting out of this.
Okay. All right, so let's move on. Nier Automata joined Fall Guys, finally fulfilling its full potential. What do you guys think?
I'm not a fan.
Don't care.
I mean, it feels like they just were. Yoko Taro's like, yes, I will take your money. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
Lol.
And I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I guarantee that's exactly what Yoko Taro did. He was, because that's the kind of guy he is. He's so unpretentious. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Just. But anyways, I don't think there's really anything else here to talk about. The Evil Dead game, whatever. I love Evil Dead, but I don't care.
This is one of those. Wait, actually, with Evil Dead, this is another theme we can quickly knock out, which cropped up again. I don't like how these licensed media are coming into games and they're not informing the design of the games. Like, what is the difference between this Evil Dead game and just your average generic co-op kill monster games?
Didn't they also have a Blair Witch game that had like nothing to do with Blair Witch?
Yeah. And it's like licensed games are at their best when they actually inform how the game is designed. Anyways.
Look, here's what's happening. It's a name that people recognize.
Yeah, I know, Boken.
And it's this formula that people safely enjoy.
I know.
And the video game industry is creatively bankrupt.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
We've had this talk before. I believe I won the debate, and I refused to engage. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring looks really good. I'm happy to
Yes.
finally see it. Finally, we get to see gameplay of this game. It does kind of look like Dark Souls 4, but bigger.
See, I think with Elden Ring, I'm wondering just how open-ended the progression may be. Because when people say it just looks like Dark Souls again, like the Dark Souls games don't even play like each other, really. Like Dark Souls 1 and 2, they are very distinct, if only because of how okay, so like the early half of Dark Souls 1, how open-ended the progression was. And I'm wondering if that's the area where Elden Ring is going to change things around, or whether it's actually going to deliver on more dynamic changes in the world, which FromSoft is always trying to do.
From what I've read, it looks like there's going to be a soft suggested order of how to beat the game. Like there's like dungeons that you're supposed to go through, but that you can actually go to them like in any order you want. Kind of like Breath of the Wild in that sense, where like, yes, there is kind of like a suggested order of how you should approach like the great shrines, or the shrine beasts, whatever the fuck they were called. But that you could technically do it in whatever order you wanted.
Yes.
But yeah, it's hard to say like how big this game is going to be. I think being able to ride on a horse is pretty neat. The horse double jumps, which that alone makes this game a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. It looks good. I'm not like super hyped, but I am like, yeah, I'm gonna pick it up.
I'm pretty hyped. I feel like this is the game Miyazaki finally gets to. It seems like this is the time Miyazaki finally gets to just make a game again, like he did with Demon Souls, rather than have a corporate come in last minute and tell him, you have to stop, like in Dark Souls or in Bloodborne or in Dark Souls 3, where everything was rewritten and everything like that. It seems like this is going to be
the least compromised.
Yeah, well, or less compromised, I should say. But then maybe COVID compromised it more than the other titles.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think he'll ever get a chance to make a game like Demon Souls again. I think that game is probably going to stand as like the most uncompromised game he's ever made. But we'll see.
Anyways,
Boken,
that's
any thoughts?
No, zero thoughts.
Zero thoughts. Empty head.
Head
gotcha.
empty.
Head empty.
Okay, so that was the Summer Game Jam.
Yes.
Which one else? Do we want to like skip over Capcom entirely? Because there really wasn't.
It's not Capcom's turn, even, Daniel. It's Ubisoft.
I know it's not their turn, but there's so little here. I just wanted to say up front
to say.
Okay,
but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see how far. We'll see how much
to say.
Fluff there's been.
Okay. All right.
What was the next one? Ubisoft, right?
Yes, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, Ubisoft. So I keep getting confused because every time I see like Ubisoft is doing something about Avatar, I keep thinking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, even though it's actually about James Cameron's Avatar. It's so confusing.
Yeah, but
that's what the world needed. Another big Ubisoft open world game.
See, this website, it's completely wrong. Avatar was not the first thing they announced. The first thing they announced was Tom Clancy Extraction or whatever.
You mean Rainbow Six?
Yes.
Popular tactical shooter?
Yeah. Hey, what is the Tom Clancy brand? Why did Ubisoft buy the Tom Clancy name if they're just going to not do anything with it? Like, what? Why is this? Have you guys ever read the Tom Clancy novels?
No.
No,
me neither. But I have read them. Have read Wikipedia summaries, and I know what they're about. He's he's super like detailed because he was I think he was a Marine or something, but he was super devoted to realism to the point where he'll have like half a page just detailing Jack Ryan's gun. And like, oh, Jack Ryan decided to customize it, and he used the blobbity bloobity spindle to do the flimble flungle on his gun. And it's like, he's very devoted to that. And Ubisoft just does not care about like the realism of weaponry or whatever. They're fighting weird goop aliens? Excuse me?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I
have no reply for you.
This was another one of those 4-player co-op games.
Dude, I not only have I not read any of the books, I've never played any of the games except for a little bit of Splinter Cell, and that's it.
The original 3 Rainbow Six games are very solid because he was actively involved in making those. I recommend those games.
Cool.
There was some guitar game, but there was some sport game. Rainbow Six Siege.
Well, the only interesting things about this is, well, I mean, Mario and Rabbids.
Mario and the Minions.
Not sure I would call this interesting, but okay.
It's fine.
It's a sequel to the other game that everyone forgot about. So whatever.
Oh. No, wait, hold on. I need to. There was some Just Dance.
It'll be okay.
That was painful to watch. The guy was like, "Oh, I wrote original songs for it," and it was like, it was the worst song I've ever heard in my life.
Whoever that was, Todrick Hall apparently wasn't he like cancelled midstream because people were like, "Hey, that guy's actually a prick."
I don't know, but I got a massive migraine the moment he started singing, and I had a headache like for a few hours afterwards. I had to put the stream down. I'm not even joking. I got a migraine from this. This was so bad. So fuck Just Dance.
So,
I don't want that.
New Mario game and Rabbids, who gives a shit?
Yes.
New Far Cry game, who gives a shit?
Yes.
They announced Creed Valhalla content, who gives a flying fuck?
They announced the season pass for the upcoming Prince of Persia online co-op multiplayer remake.
What?
That's a lie. Logan. That's a lie. Imagine if they did, though.
I legitimately forgot there's a remake coming. Like, I was sitting there, please don't announce Prince of Persia. Please don't do anything with Prince of Persia. And then someone wrote me like, but they're doing the remake, right? And then I looked it up and oh my god, yes.
Oh, they are.
That's a thing.
Well, it'll be fun when they announce it to talk to you about it. Avatar.
And then the fucking Avatar game. I fucking hate modern game trailers. This is like, please cream yourself because we mentioned and showed Avatar in a CGI cutscene. There's nothing, no gameplay promise. What's going to be the major mechanics? What are we doing? Who are we playing? What is the story? Like nothing. Just here's Avatar and it's open world. Have fun. Yeah. I fucking hate video games, man.
It's funny that Avatar is the highest grossing movie of all time, not adjusted for inflation. And it has no cultural staying power whatsoever. Nobody cares about it. And it's been 12 years, he's left it for too long, and he's made 5 new movies that are gonna come out, and they're all gonna flop, I hope, because nobody cares. And now they're making this game, and I hope this game flops too. He should just go back and make another Terminator movie.
I hope that's what he's good at. Some generic shitty Ubisoft open world game that people just forget in 2 months.
I hope. Yeah. I actually beat that original Ubisoft Avatar game that came out on the PS3 and 360.
Yeah.
I barely remember anything about it. All I can tell you is that half the game you play as the blue guys, and the other half of the game you play as the military man, and that's it. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anything else about that game. and I beat it. In fact, you don't have to, but like it's 2 different campaigns, right? Like you play through the game entirely as a military man, and then you play it entirely as a blue guy. You can make the choice early on in the game. I did both. I still can't tell you anything about it. It was one of the most nothing games I ever beat. I expect the same out of this. Yeah.
I'm wondering, before we jump off from Ubisoft, do we want to pitch Ubisoft how to make their subscription service Prince of Persia remake so they don't have to do any hard work of conceptualizing? Because clearly Ubisoft is not interested in like actually thinking about new ways to make games. So I'm just thinking, should we maybe pitch the next Prince of Persia subscription service game? So they can just put it into production? What's the Prince of Persia guy's name? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes! Jake Gyllenhaal. He's an unlockable skin.
Gyllenhaal, not Gyllenhaal.
Oh. But it's Maggie Gyllenhaal and Jake Gyllenhaal. How do you explain that, Daniel?
It's Gyllenhaal.
Okay, fine. It's not interesting. Is that Ubisoft? Do we have anything more to say?
I don't think so. Like this was a very nothing. Conference.
Far Cry. We didn't talk about Far Cry.
Yeah, because there's nothing to say.
There's nothing to say because the developers have nothing to say.
It's a new Far Cry. They show nothing about this game. I watched these trailers and I had to look up what the actual playable character in the game is. They showed the DLC for all the villains you can play, and I still didn't know who the fuck you're actually playing in the game.
Fine.
I had to look up some other stupid gameplay reveal of like 15 minutes unaltered gameplay to see, it's that one chick you saw in the cutscene that was standing in the background. That's your playable main character. Fucking good job.
Yeah.
These games make themselves, as far as I'm concerned. It's just people know the name, people are gonna buy it. They have to do nothing with the series.
I'm trying to be optimistic for the listeners, and you guys keep bringing it down. No, it's like Gustavo Fring.
Remember, Far Cry it's not a political statement. They're not
political.
Saying anything. Nothing political.
This is definitely not a Latin American.
It reminds me of that.
I can't even do the bit. It's just so tiring.
Don't worry, people. Boken was not making a political statement. Boken did not just make a political statement.
There's that hard drive article where it says gamer combs through every pixel of game to make sure that there's no politics being shoved down his throat. Anyways, I think we're done with Ubisoft. What's next? The Xbox one? The Microsoft one?
No, Gearbox.
No, Gearbox? Wait,
Gearbox
had one?
There was a third... What? You didn't watch that, Daniel? Oh my god.
I didn't watch that either.
I didn't even know Gearbox had one.
I knew they had one and I refused to watch it.
Okay, well you missed out, Boken, on 30 minutes of some guy going behind the scenes on the Borderlands movie and making Kevin Hart uncomfortable. That was the saddest thing I have ever watched in my life, and I want my money back. I am so mad.
Who's Kevin Hart?
He's the little
comedian.
He's with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in all those movies. He's not funny, but people think he's funny. He's very loud.
Is that the black guy from Fast and Furious?
I don't.
Tyrese Gibson?
Think
No.
so.
What the fuck?
No,
you
no.
racist? You racist?
I don't know who Kevin Hart is.
He's in Jumanji, isn't he?
He's just a comedian. He's not that. I actually read his book recently.
Oh yeah.
But like, yeah.
With Grits. His
fine.
dad made
I think
Grits.
the Fast and Furious movies are the only Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies I've ever seen. And I know there's some black
What?
guy in there. Like, I remember Furious 7, that comedic black guy, whoever that is, was the most obnoxious fucking character. He had like a 20-minute scene where he was trying to entertain a confused crowd, and I just wanted to die. So that's where my mind went.
Was Kevin Hart in those movies? I haven't seen Fast and the Furious. I know Tyrese Gibson is in them. Anyway.
We're spending too much time on this. Anyways, the Microsoft conference.
Yeah.
So, any
Starfield.
thoughts on Starfield? Yeah, any thoughts?
So Todd Howard talked about this will be a more hardcore RPG than Skyrim and Fallout 4, and I was like, okay, I'm interested in seeing what that means.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't just No Man's Sky, but with Bethesda bugs.
Yeah,
I definitely.
Fallout 4. Go ahead.
I definitely trust Todd Howard to deliver only quality games to me.
Todd Howard is a good game designer. I think. Because, like...
Yeah, that qualifier.
No, but, like... I know that his games come out and they're the lowest common denominator, but in that, you also have... Like, Morrowind still exists, and you get stuff like Far Harbor. You get Fallout 3. You get stuff where, like... There is clearly some talent there, and sometimes it's allowed to show itself. And with Starfield, they're talking about, like, we've wanted to do this game for 25 years. So I'm like, okay, then
that's called a marketing gag, Asa.
No, but see, like, here's the thing. You damn well better make a good game. If you're like, we wanted to make it for 25 years, and it's just like, it's just Fallout 76 again, where you're like, oh, you have to collect a bunch of trash to break down to
What
make
did
items.
they even show? The trailer was a CGI cutscene of someone saying, we're going into space now.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was the thing.
That's fine. I don't need gameplay trailers. You and I differ on this. I just need... Give me the atmosphere. I'm excited to see what this is. But, it's a steep climb.
No, I need gameplay. Naoki Yoshida, when he really showed the trailer for FF16, he specifically stated, I wanted to wait before we had gameplay to show because I know that people would talk shit if we didn't show gameplay.
I need gameplay at some point, but I don't need the announcement being gameplay. I don't mind getting a little concept trailer first.
All right. Well, there's not much else to say about Starfield. I just hope it's not like Fallout 4, where it's like pretends to be an RPG and it's not.
Sarcastic.
Stalker 2 is coming out. Cool for Stalker 2 fans.
Sea of Thieves. We're getting Jack Sparrow. Were you done?
Who cares?
Finally.
Who cares?
I think that's.
Do you think that was Johnny Depp?
See, it sounds exactly like him, but there's no way in hell that's Johnny Depp.
No, there's no way. There's no way. There's plenty of people that can mimic his voice. There's no way.
He sounded more like actual Captain Jack Sparrow than Johnny Depp did in the fifth movie.
He sounds more Johnny Depp than Johnny Depp.
He also, the guy who was voicing him clearly had some soul left in the performance, whereas with Johnny Depp, it's just like... He was so tired in the last two movies. Oh my god.
No, he was okay in 4. 5.
No, he was terrible. He was so bad. In 4, do you remember in 4 when Barbossa was out on the sea and it was very obviously, Jeffrey Rush actually on set, on location, and then it was like the Johnny Depp segments, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a green screen soundstage. Because Johnny Depp didn't want to go out on set.
Was Barbossa even in movie 4?
Yes, they're trying to get the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah,
he's working for the Queen.
All right.
I lost the pearl like I lost me lake. He says.
The only other thing here, A Plague Tale Requiem got announced.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sequel. I never played the first one, but I was always like passively interested in giving it a shot. Bokeh, didn't you play the first one? Am I remembering that right?
No, you're remembering that wrong.
Okay.
The first game looks like The Last of Us with less gameplay and more rats.
Oh no, that sounds awful.
Looks like the most uninteresting game I've ever seen.
Really? I thought it looked interesting.
It's exactly that. Like it's that whole Sony formula not done by Sony.
How would you know? You haven't played it.
I've read into it. It has stealth. It has crafting. It has very limited gameplay segments. And then it has the main character talking to herself for every second.
But it's going to have that Euro jank. It's going to have that Euro jank.
No, it doesn't. I think it's very polished.
No. It's got that Euro jank. It's automatically it gives it like 10 points.
I don't think it does.
Here's the thing, Daniel. As a European, I'm gonna say this, and every time I say this, like on Twitter, people give me shit. American media is so much better in every way. Don't give me these Euro jank games. Give me American games. I don't want to see what the Swedes have been cooking up.
Certainly not true for movies.
I see it like this. I'd rather read an essay from a 5-year-old than an essay from a 16-year-old because whatever the 5-year-old has to say is going to be way more interesting than the 16-year-old. Even if the 16-year-old's by comparison is going to be more polished technically. Whatever the 5-year-old has to say is way more interesting.
Well, sure. Battlefield 2042, there's a grapple hook in it.
Well, whatever.
Every game is made better by a grapple hook, and I was happy to see this.
Well, I recently played It Takes Two, which has a grapple hook in it, so I think I might agree with you because that game is made better by its grappling hook.
Psychonauts 2. This is okay. Genuinely, I am very excited for this. And if this was an Xbox exclusive, which it isn't, I might have considered buying an Xbox just to play it. I love the original. Yeah, I love the original.
I haven't played it yet. I own it on PS4 and on PC for some reason, but I just never got around to it.
I highly recommend it, and this one looks like... I haven't been keeping up with it a lot. It's kind of like with Elden Ring, where I'm gonna try to just not pay much attention because I want to be blown away. It looks like it has the energy of the original. It's that good 2000s, not edge. Psychonauts wasn't super edgy, but that's 2000 sort of snarkiness, which I like. So I'm excited for this one.
All right. Outer Worlds 2 got announced, but we know nothing else.
Yes. They redid Diablo 2. Nice. Fallout 76 got content.
Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? Halo. Oh, Halo, actually. Did you notice how much extra polish they put into the distant renders? Because when they originally showed off this game, people were like, oh, look at how poorly rendered the backgrounds is. Fucking Xbox isn't as good as Sony because their game, which is still in development, isn't fully polished yet. So Phil Spencer went to 343 Studios with a shotgun and was like, you guys are gonna put the work, the blood, sweat, and pixels into those pixels in the renders.
He was literally standing there above all their computers with a shotgun, just ready to blow.
Not even with a shotgun, though. I'm thinking now just like with a whip rolled up on his hip.
It's one of those It's one of those whips where, like, when it comes out, it's actually like multiple whips, so he's whipping all of them at the same time.
I love that Phil Spencer is actually doing something with the Xbox brand.
Xbox brand hasn't been doing much for many years now, so it feels like things are actually like happening.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
I like that he's positioning it as like the intermediary between a console and a PC. So Xbox is gonna get way more mods than Sony is, if Sony is even gonna do mods again. and I think that's gonna force Sony to actually do something rather than just, you know what it is. More competition, more experimentation, always nice.
Right.
That's
I think that's
Xbox.
No,
I think that's it for their conference. What
they had one of the 3 games that I was interested in, which was Replaced, which looked pretty amazing.
Yeah, you showed me the trailer for that. That looks really fucking good.
It did look really good, cool. But I couldn't tell from the trailer what of that was gameplay and what was a cutscene looking really good. But after Katana Zero, I believe that great pixel art and good gameplay can happen together.
Well, you didn't believe that really before? Good.
Well, it's difficult to have pixel art on that level and also like really snappy action gameplay.
Oh, you mean action gameplay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What's next? A Square conference?
Oh my god, this was the worst one.
Does anyone care about that Arcane game with the vampires?
Arcane. No. It's like another one of these 4-player co-op games. I don't care. I have no energy for this.
I also have no friends to play that with. And also, again, no gameplay.
We're not your friends? We're not your friends?
I don't want to play games with him.
They're probably going to have 100 ms ping to both of you.
Hey, if either one of you guys one day are like, hey, I'd like to play Final Fantasy 14, I'd be right there with you. I'd be going on raids with you guys, taking you through dungeons.
If I wanted to play Final Fantasy 14, I wouldn't let you know, and I'd play it by myself.
See, in World of Warcraft, wow. I can't even play on American servers.
What, you can't?
No. Or maybe I can, but with a really, really ugly ping.
Well. Anyways, this conference was pretty doo-doo. They showed Guardians of the Galaxy, which...
Oh, we're at Square now.
Yeah, so...
It didn't end.
I think... I gotta say, like, the most poignant thing said about the Guardians of the Galaxy is you had this cast of varied and interesting characters, and you're stuck playing as a white guy with a gun.
See, there's an even uglier thing to be said here, because the guy said during the announcement, we were given full creative control to interpret the characters in our own way. No, you weren't. Or if you were, then you have a pathetic mind, because this is just it's a mediocre ripoff of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
This is not what the Guardians of the Galaxy and the comics are like at all. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy
like the piggyback off. It looks like it's actually a tie-in for the movies. Like
in the comics, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and admittedly I haven't read a lot of it, but they were always more like stiffs than these goofball comedy characters. They were more like stiff cops. But this is just like, oh my god, he's doing another song. Do you remember back in 2014 when this was a novel take? No, thank you.
Groot says, I am Groot, and then the humor is that Raccoon understands him. Ha!
Yeah. Compare this to Arkham Asylum, where Rocksteady was actually given the creative freedom to interpret Batman in their own way. That's my favorite ever interpretation of Batman. But this is
it feels like a combination of stuff, because it feels like it's got the Bruce Timm influence on the animated series.
It's got the Christopher Nolan.
And the comic books as well.
Yeah, it's like that is the definitive take on Batman to me.
It feels like a melting pot.
This is mediocre. Same with the Square Enix Avengers game. It's like if you're gonna do these characters, which we're all tired of seeing in the movies, please do something original with them.
Speaking of which, they announced DLC for the Marvel's Avengers game. I thought that game died. I thought that game was dead. I thought they gave up on it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised.
No, they voted, I think, to keep it going. I think there was like an emergency meeting where everybody had to vote, and they decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like we undercut how embarrassing the Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy thing was.
Oh yeah,
like it was
awful.
It was bad. It went on for so long. It had like 3 points where you thought, okay, we're done now, and then they kept going with the next cutscene and the next gameplay segment. And you know how I complain about side characters who you don't control, who just keep talking the entire time?
Yes.
In this fucking game, you have 4 other people there with you, talking to you the entire time. Like, they did not shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, I will say, I agree with you fully that this was way excessive. They were cutting during the gameplay. They were cutting to match the characters talking, but they were cutting like 3 seconds out of any engagement. This was atrocious.
What do you mean?
So a character would say something while you were talking, and then while you were playing, the moment they were done talking, they would immediately cut the gameplay section like 2 or 3 seconds ahead, which was when the next character started talking. There were these little micro cuts in between, but they were cutting seconds. This is a lot of people talking.
So you're saying, hold on.
It's not quite as atrocious as it came across.
You're saying they cut out the pauses in between the lines?
Yeah.
But they
reveal.
reply to one another.
Yeah. They cut out a few seconds of pauses in between the characters talking.
No,
I think
they did. If you rewatch it, which you never will, you can see that
I'm gonna have a brain aneurysm.
they are jumping in between, like during the combat. They are doing little few second jumps here and there.
All right, guys, we're spending way too much time on Guardians.
Oh, Are we the ones
spending
too long on it?
I was screaming like this was the most emotional I got during E3, was watching this shit.
I can just imagine you getting furious back home.
Deep down inside, is it worth this much ire?
I think so. I think so, because first of all, when it comes to this sort of stuff, I just put a bunch of indies, threw them under the bus earlier. It just made me a bit unfair. But that's not me saying you're like the World of Lana, I think that game was called. That's probably a perfectly fine game. It's probably not a game for me, but that's probably perfectly fine. And it has its own audience, and go ahead, make it. Great job. This deserves ire because these developers, not the developers even, the producers that are publishing this, that are assembling this, and the publishers that are publishing this, they need to know just how much we hate this, or else we're never gonna stop getting this stuff. So I think it is warranted to spend just that little bit extra time hating on this stuff.
The worst thing is that I monitored the E3 hashtag during the conference, and people, like a lot of people were of course saying this is going on for way too long, but no one really complained about the writing of this game. This really, like, it is so fucking obnoxious to me when in Marvel in general and in these dumbass games, every fucking line has to be like a joke or a quip or something, and no one can ever talk normally. It is tiring. It is, especially in these games where people just can't shut the fuck up anyway. This is not writing. You can't. It's gonna tire people out. But apparently, no one thinks like that. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, this is the new unskippable cutscene. New unskippable walking section. It's just characters yammering at you in the middle of gameplay.
Yeah.
And we're going to be stuck with this for the next 7 years.
But the cutscenes at least have purpose. Like a phone call in Metal Gear Solid usually has some kind of purpose to it.
Also, you can skip it.
This
you can
is
skip
just
it if you don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, this is just filling dead air. They said nothing of plot importance.
Oh yeah, that's true. There was no value in any of those conversations. I bet they justify it as like, oh, it's characterization.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you don't need to like. I've seen those movies. I know these characters. You don't need to build them up. You're just ripping them off anyways. Anyways.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it needs to stand on its own. It can't be predicated.
It doesn't stand on its own. It doesn't though.
I'm just saying, in their defense, you can't be expected to go into it knowing already who these characters are.
Nah, I guess.
It's just
unless it's something like Batman or Spider-Man, which their presence has been so ingrained within pop culture for like literal decades. That's different.
Yeah. I still don't like it.
No one says you gotta like it.
It was
Anyways.
obnoxious.
Final Fantasy. Killing Chaos.
I was going to talk a little bit about Babylon's Fall first, but if you want to jump into that.
No, if you want to do it chronologically, that's fine.
No, I just want to say I'm really disappointed. Like,
because it's a 4-player action game?
Yeah,
you have to play it with your friends.
When you look at the original gameplay trailer that they had for Babylon's Fall a few years back, it looked like a Platinum Games game. Mm-hmm. And now it looks completely different. And everything that I liked about that original trailer is gone. So now I've lost interest almost entirely. And I think it's a real shame because it looked like Platinum Games were going to do like a really cool, stylish action game. And they're going to switch things up. It looked like they were going to do some new things, especially with the way that weapons worked. And they decided, nope. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I heard somewhere that apparently the reason why Babylon's Fall had this huge shift and it's so different now is because it's Square trying to chase after that Monster Hunter World money.
That would make sense.
That's what I heard.
Square making a shitty financial decision, financially driven decision?
Yep. Hey, they lost a lot of money on Avengers.
Oh yeah,
cut them some breaks.
But yes, getting off that, Final Fantasy Chaos. I mean, Origin.
I hated this. And I hate that people... So originally everyone was like joking about like, oh, this is terrible. But everybody sort of turned around and was like, nah, this is sort of earnest and sincere. This is not This is not 2000 edginess. There was a guy there with pink hair who was the worst character, the most annoying character I've ever seen. He was on screen for 3 seconds, and I already hate him.
No, see, the edge you're talking about is like Jack and Daxter 2 and Jack X. No, the type of edge that this is very, very specifically like the early 2010s, where Japanese studios saw how popular Western games had become, so they do like these misguided, like edgy reboots.
It's this very self-unaware edginess.
Yeah,
characters take themselves way too seriously, even though everything they're doing is ridiculous.
Like Bomberman Act Zero.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, when the demo originally was corrupted and people couldn't play it, eventually that got fixed and the demo came out. And based on what I've seen of the gameplay footage, the demo actually does look pretty decent because it's Neo. It's basically Neo, but with Final Fantasy job system, which on the face of it, not a bad idea, pretty good idea. So if I can get Neo with Final Fantasy flavors and a job system, I might enjoy this game purely for the gameplay, and then I'll also enjoy the game for how unintentionally hilarious it is.
He said kill chaos like 7 times.
I'm gonna kill chaos.
Dude, I didn't even know this was... I had no idea who Garland was. I have never played the original Final Fantasy. This was all just white noise to me. And then I was like, okay, why is that guy wearing a modern t-shirt? And, the gameplay looks okay.
Because it's an isekai. Yeah, so that has nothing to do with the original Final Fantasy. It wasn't an isekai, but apparently this is like a reimagining, quote unquote, of the original. Like it's just meant to be like this weird interpretation of it. Garland was the final boss of the original game. Just to spoil the plot of like a fucking 40-year-old game at this point. The story is basically, in the beginning, you just go to fight Garland because he kidnapped some princess. And then eventually some other dude named Chaos comes around and he's the final boss. And you have to kill him or he'll destroy the world. But then it turns out that Chaos was actually Garland. The first boss that you find in the beginning of the game. And the game is actually a time loop. Because after you beat him, it goes back to the beginning of the game. So the game, in essence, is actually recontextualizing whenever you replay it.
Oh, I didn't know Final Fantasy, the original, had I didn't know it was that. That's more interesting than I would have thought it was.
It is actually a lot more interesting.
Thanks for spoiling it to me, Daniel. Jeez, I was just about to play it too.
Cynical me is thinking that the time loop is more there to cut down on costs. You have to, so that you don't have to create as many new environments. Like
no. That has nothing to do with it.
And even if it were that, that's still a totally valid way of designing a game. Look at PT.
No, you only find out about the time loop at the ending. That's the ending of the game. It wasn't a matter of like cost saving.
But you do replay. Do you replay the same areas over and over?
No. You don't replay. You don't replay the same areas over and over. I'm saying this is the game's way of contextualizing if you as the player decide to replay the game.
Wait, what? You have to... Are you saying you have to beat the game multiple times?
No, I'm not saying you have to beat the game multiple times. I'm saying that the ending explains that the story is a time loop. That's it. That's all that it is. So that if you decide one day I want to replay the game, you are actually reinitiating the time loop by doing that.
Okay.
It's just a part of the narrative.
You worded that weirdly, but okay, I got it.
I'm sorry I worded it weirdly. Acer seemed to pick it up.
You did word it weirdly, though.
Whatever. Anyway.
I just used my superior mentality to figure it out. I cracked the code. They did another one of those shitty Life is Strange games.
Hey, we're not allowed to say anything bad about the Life is Strange games.
Why not?
We had Jared the playing field on you. And he's working on this game.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Jared,
I'm gonna be honest, like people were really mad about this game. I don't hate the premise. I think people were making fun of the power of empathy, but okay, so you have a supernatural power where people are influencing the main character and she like goes through, she feels it physically, what other people are feeling mentally. That's not a bad premise for a narratively driven game. That's completely fine.
No, but I'm just tired of these sorts of games. It's the same with they announced another game, I think in the Summer Game Jam part, called like Dark Anthology or something, which I think is another one of those sorts of Until Dawn titles. I'm just so tired of this. And Jared, if you're listening, I love you. I'm sure you're gonna do good work, but this is just not for me. Do you remember? Do you guys remember?
Hold on. I do think some people are hating on this just because the previous Life is Strange games, a lot of people didn't like them, so they're going into this game not wanting to like it.
I hate the original Life is Strange, and I'm still okay with this existing, and I might pick it up. I'm not against
I wasn't saying you specifically, Boken.
No, I understand it. I'm just saying you can hate the original games for very good reasons because they're not good. But
look, these things are not preventing something better existing. We don't like it. If we wouldn't have had some masterpiece, if we wouldn't have had this, fine.
Yeah.
But I still don't like it.
I don't know.
They could have spent this money making another. They could have made a Thor video game, Boken. Think about that for a second. This could have been. They could have funded a Thor game where the guy looks a bit like Chris Hemsworth, but not entirely like him.
But I don't want to play a Thor game.
Wow. Okay. Wow. What are you, some kind of sheep? You just buy whatever Ubisoft puts in front of you.
This isn't even Ubisoft.
No, this is Square. I'm sorry.
There's something about these stupid fucking games.
Anyways,
where there was I know we're getting to Nintendo soon. I watched Nintendo today in preparation for this, and there was a Nintendo announcement of this game and the original Life is Strange coming to Switch. And it was that fucking... It's just these nice visuals, and then this stupid breathy hipster music kicks in. And somehow I'm getting fucking goosebumps from it. I'm a sucker for this. Even though that's not even music I listen to on my own, somehow... this stupid hipster music, this sad inspirational shit is getting to me. I can't explain it.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I was looking at these characters that I despise, like Chloe from the original game, and I got goosebumps, and I hate myself.
Do you guys remember Captain Spirit? When are they going to do Captain Spirit 2?
No,
I didn't play that.
Don't even bring that up. Don't even bring that up.
I think that was before we had the podcast, right, Daniel? When we did our E3 thing?
Maybe? I think you're right.
Yeah, because I remember that was before they really clamped down on Twitch chat during the streams. So there was just this vomit of poison whenever anything new was shown.
I think people were making fun of that game, calling it Captain Autismo.
No, it was Captain Autism. It wasn't Autism. Oh, well, it may have been Autismo. I just saw Captain Autism. I was there when that was born.
Yeah.
Ay.
Anyways,
I don't like those hipster games.
Greener pastures or redder, I guess, with Nintendo.
No.
We will jump to Capcom then.
Capcom.
Oh, we're doing Capcom. I keep wanting to forget about the Capcom conference.
You keep trying, but
I keep trying.
It just doesn't work.
Okay, guys. What is it about the Capcom conference that you want to discuss?
Daniel, do you remember when you told me that all you want in life is a lady knight with a fat ass? Well, what if I told you? Well, what if I told you that Capcom is doing a DLC for Resident Evil 8?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Because it's the horny tall lady, probably.
She's not a lady knight. Daniel literally got his lady knight with a fat ass in his Tales of Arise trailer. What the fuck are you talking about, Capcom?
Yeah, dude, I am good. I am fucking set for life.
Anyways, they're doing a DLC for Resident Evil 8. That's okay, fine. I'm here for it. I hope it's not the horny lady. I hope it's not that.
I think they are. No, wait. I don't think they did. But of course, it's gonna be.
I know it's gonna be, but I'd really rather it wasn't. Monster Hunter. Hey, I have a question for you guys. Was Dr. Tenma the original Monster Hunter? Yeah, I'm just gonna let that sit there. You guys think about that.
Okay.
You guys excited for Street Fighter V esports?
You didn't answer my question,
No.
guys. It was a clever joke.
No,
Street Fighter.
I'm not excited. No, not excited.
Bogan, my notes literally say Street Fighter, more like pillow biter. That's you, Bogan.
Pillow biter.
Yeah.
Isn't that a good thing?
No, that means you're taking it up the ass.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing if that's what you're into. Do you guys like Ace Attorney for 40 minutes?
No.
What are the Ace Attorney games?
I have no idea.
Ace Attorney's really good. They're very fun, just really enjoyable, well-written games. They're really nice point-and-click style adventure games.
All right. I hate anime. Is that going to be a problem?
It might be a problem.
Well, then.
They're still really good though. They're not like overtly anime, but they're still kind of anime.
Well, it was a nice try though.
They're good games. I recommend them. You can get the original trilogy on Steam, and it's recommended. Good stuff.
I just want to say towards the Street Fighter presentation, we know what the next two fighters in Street Fighter V are going to be. They've already announced it. They've already shown gameplay of them, like alpha footage of those characters. I don't know how the fuck you have a E3 conference and not show more gameplay of the next character. The last character came out 2 months ago or something. Like it's fucking time to bring out the next one, and they don't have anything for E3. I don't understand how that happens. It is mystifying to me that they did not show anything.
Has Ace Attorney ever been in Street Fighter?
No, but he's been in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Really?
Yeah, and he's literally the worst fighter in that game.
Of course he is. He's a fucking lawyer. Why? I don't understand why they even put him in the game. It makes no sense.
No, the gameplay gimmick of Ace Attorney is, or whatever his name is, he has to pick up...
Wright.
Phoenix Wright, yeah. He has to pick up like evidence from the ground, and then 4 out of 5 times it's just garbage, but eventually you find the important clue, and then all his attacks get powered up. And then he's super strong, but then also you never get to that point because you just get demolished. Because it's Marvel vs. Capcom, and everyone one-shots you.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Lol. Has Devil May Cry ever been in Street Fighter?
No, but he's also been in Marvel vs. Capcom. Dante, Virgil, and Trish have all been in Marvel vs. Capcom.
And Trish.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I won't hang on to Capcom much longer. Nintendo. Tekken is joining Smash. Do you guys care?
Nope.
I don't understand how there are still characters being added to Smash.
It probably still makes them money.
I think it's cool. I mean, here's the thing, though.
What are there, like 90 characters now?
Everyone is here, Bogan.
That's the problem, though. Like, whenever they add a new character, I'll play as the character for like half an hour, just like trying them out, having fun with them, and then I put it down, and then I never go back to that character.
Yeah. And if I was a competitive Smash fighter, I would fucking be really annoyed with more characters being added to this stupid game. I mean, I'd be annoyed about a lot of things. I'd be annoyed about the Switch not having an Ethernet port and the netcode being garbage. But what the fuck?
Isn't Smash Bros. The most popular fighting game?
Yeah.
That's
many people don't even consider it a fighting game. In fact,
I was gonna say that
there was this whole thing going on after this reveal where Smash players were calling Kazuya a Shodo. And then...
What is that?
A Shodo. A Shodo is a... Well, they thought Shodo is colloquial for a fighting game character in Smash, like a guest character. But a Shodo is Ryu and Ken. A Shodo is Fireball, Dragon Punch, Whirlwind Kick. That's Shodo.
Okay.
And Kazuya has none of these things. But Smash players kept calling him a Shodo. And then the FGC was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Stop that. And then some really popular Smash player was like, who gives a fuck? We call it a Shodo. It's colloquially agreed that this is a Shodo. And then everyone made fun of him.
No, it's not.
No, and then he actually had a character arc where he looked up what Shodo meant and then told Twitter about it. And everyone was like, good of you for owning up to your mistake.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Nice.
Good for him then. Good for him. Okay, well, fuck everything. Metroid Dread. Fuck yes.
I was gonna talk more about Guardians of the Galaxy coming to Nintendo's.
No, you shut the fuck up. Metroid Dread is coming out. I am so excited for this. Fuck yes. I've been waiting for a new 2D Metroid game for so long. The last one we got was the remake of Metroid 2 on the 3DS, which was pretty good. I did enjoy it. It was very solid. But it's nice to get like a nice new game. It looks different. It's not retreading old ground. It looks like it's going to be a really cool, interesting new thing. I like the new robot that looks like it's going to be like tracking down Samus, and you have to come up with like different ways to avoid it. Really cool. Kind of reminds me a bit of, I think it was called Sax in Metroid Fusion, which was basically a copy of Samus at her peak. Because in Fusion, obviously, there's always some explanation of like, oh, Samus lost her suit power upgrades again. And so you're like underpowered for most of that game while this fucking like monstrosity is like tracking you down. And it looks like they're taking that idea way further in Metroid Dread, because in Fusion, it was just a couple of set pieces that would happen occasionally. And then towards the end, it was when you got back to like full power, you could fight it in the boss fight, which was cool. But again, Metroid Dread seems to be like innovating on that. It seems to be taking it further. You know, it looks really fucking good is what I'm trying to say. I don't even care about Metroid Prime 4 anymore. I just want this. I'm hyped for this.
Okay. I've never played a Metroid game, but Daniel is happy, so I suppose I'm
happy for
this.
Daniel.
You know what, Daniel?
I'm literally the only one happy about this.
I would have much rather seen an update to Super Mario Maker 2. No.
Isn't Super Mario Maker 2 out?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh, you wanted more content. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just joking, though. I'm happy that this is happening for you.
Thank you. I never thought I'd get a new 2D style Metroid game. The last one was technically Fusion on the fucking Game Boy Advance. Like, Jesus.
What about the 2D remake they did? The remake of 2? Yes,
they did a remake of 1 called Zero Mission. They did a remake of 2.
It was 2, right?
They did 2 remakes. Zero Mission on the Game Boy Advance, and they did Samus Returns on the 3DS, which is a remake of the second game. But like,
it was like,
Fusion,
3 years ago?
But Fusion was the last like next entry in like the mainline series is what I'm saying. Also, Samus Returns was not 2 years ago. That was like 4 years ago.
Well, I said 3 years ago, but okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misheard. But yeah, it was 4 years ago.
What does Metroid mean?
Metroid, okay, so you know that creature that looks like a jellyfish with a nucleus and like the teeth hanging out?
I know that those are Metroids, but I'm wondering, is Is it like a mattress and an android mixed together or something?
That's exactly what it is.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, where does the name come from? Is my question.
I don't know. That's just the name they decided to attribute to that
You're
creature.
not a real fan, then Daniel. A real fan would know.
They took the word meteoroid, they cut out the E. That's how far
that
that
makes
went.
sense. And another O.
I don't know how true that is, but whatever.
No, I think that's right.
Oh wait, I guess it's meteoroid, right? So they cut out the E and the O.
There's no such thing as a meteoroid.
I think there is.
No, it's meteorite. It's not meteoroid.
No.
Yeah, it's meteorite.
No, there are three. Those are different things. It's a meteoroid, meteor, and meteorite.
What is a meteoroid?
They actually discussed this once on like a review from Red Letter Media, where like meteor is when it's out in space, and meteorite is when it's on the Earth, like when it's on the ground, and then meteoroid is when it's in the atmosphere or close to the atmosphere.
I've literally never heard the word meteoroid in my life.
I think Bogan,
I don't want to be wrong, so I'm gonna look it up.
I'm just saying I've never personally heard it. I'm just you're wrong.
I'm really just recounting what I once heard in a
so
video
Mario
about
Party
a movie that has
Superstars.
nothing to do with this.
Is anyone here a Mario Party fan? I'm not.
Fuck Mario Party. Fuck it forever.
Okay.
Whoa, that's very angry, Bogan.
Is anyone here a WarioWare fan?
No, look.
No,
a meteoroid is a small, rocky or metallic body in outer space.
He's still on this, Daniel. We've clearly moved on.
No, I'm educating you fuckers.
Okay. All right. I hear
you.
A
meteoroid shown entering the atmosphere, becoming visible as a meteor and hitting the Earth. Oh, so meteor is when it's visible with the whatever that's called, like the stripe.
The naked eye?
Meteor is when you can see it in the sky, and meteorite is when the rock has actually hit the ground. And then meteoroid is when it's out in space.
All right, then.
Okay. Well, Shin Megami Tensei 5 looks really good.
Hey, Wario. Bogan didn't answer. Do you care about WarioWare?
No, but I know people do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Those games actually look fine.
Yeah.
I think people enjoy Wario Land more.
I would like a new Wario Land game. I like the original Game Boy ones. Those were pretty good. But anyways, Shin Megami Tensei 5, we finally get to see what this game looks like. Because the last time they just showed like a trailer, and they just showed like some story and some visuals, but that was about it.
You say finally. Is this a hyped game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is with nerds.
Oh.
I am one of those nerds.
All these JRPG fuckos in my Twitter mentions can't shut the fuck up about SMT5.
Well,
SMT5.
I mean, the Shin Megami Tensei series is basically like the main thing that Atlus did before Persona blew up. So
I know what Persona is.
I honestly would say, like, if you are a fan of Persona, you probably would enjoy the Shin Megami Tensei games as well. I mean, granted, the social aspect isn't there. It focuses more on like combat and exploration, but still, these are really good games, and this new one looks really fucking good. Also, I don't know if I was the only one that noticed this, but like the main character is clearly a dude, but like when he goes to the demon world or whatever, he looks very feminine coded. So I don't know if that's like I don't know if that was either an intentional or unintentional trans allegory or something.
Also, wasn't the narration female?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Maybe. I find that interesting. So, like, the Shin Megami Tensei games tend to be a lot more focused on the themes of chaos versus law, and that's not necessarily to say that chaos is good and or that chaos is bad and law is good. It's more that like chaos is like anything goes, while law is like fascism. And it kind of like explores these ideas.
Are you
to, like,
telling me?
extremes.
Are you telling me that Final Fantasy Zero Origin, whatever that game is, we play as a fascist trying to kill chaos?
Oh, that was good. That was good.
But that is the D&D alignment chart, right? There's chaotic good and there's chaotic evil, and there's lawful good and there's lawful evil.
I think with Shin Megami Tensei, it's more so like it's chaotic neutral versus lawful evil.
So the
a lot of the cases.
The law is always bad?
Not necessarily, but like it is different across the games, but like typically speaking, it isn't clear cut. It isn't just that one is good and one is bad, but like it really does depend on the game. And it's interesting.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the D&D alignment chart. Is you can have good and evil characters. The chaotic or the lawful part just decides on their methods. The lawful evil characters have evil agendas, but they use order and laws and authority to get to them.
Sure. Like it does depend, like I said, on the game and also the individual characters. But there isn't, because a lot of the characters happen to be demons, and a lot of them are not good most of the time. So yeah, these I'm excited for this game. It looks really good. The Shin Megami Tensei games are always really interesting, and yeah.
Can I make a general point about the Nintendo conference?
I don't know. Can you?
I can, yeah, if I'm allowed to.
Okay. Okay.
It's that I really appreciated that Nintendo, or that the whole conference is like the trailers also. They actually tell you what the fuck the games are about. They not only did they show a lot of gameplay, but in this SMT trailer, for example, there's literally a narration telling you what the fucking main character is doing while the gameplay is playing. They explain to you how the demon system works, what the fuck you're going to do with the demon system, how you can fuse shit. And I knew that because I've played Persona, but it was like, okay, this is so much different than the other companies who just show you these fake cinematic story trailers where you get an impression of the atmosphere at best and nothing else. And like in general, Nintendo was very... They had an announcement, and then they tell you in detail, so this is the content that is coming, this is when it's coming out, this is where you can get it for the what is that Zelda game called? Not Breath of the Wild, but the brawler one.
Oh, Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors, yeah. They told you exactly, here's the new DLC, and we're gonna have another one later, and here's gameplay, here's the new weapons and the new character, and you can get it then, and like that's how an announcement is supposed to work. I actually learned what the fuck this is about.
It's very straightforward and clear cut.
Yeah.
Yes, but how many co-op online games did Nintendo sell you? 0. How many of them did Square Enix sell you?
Also 0?
Yeah, well, Square Enix sure tried harder, though. Maybe Square Enix was a wrong pull there. I should have said Xbox or like Ubisoft. Anyways. I don't know anything about Shin Megami Tensei. Whatever. If people like it, that's cool.
I think it should be given a shot. Again, if you enjoy Persona, you might like Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I don't know anything about Persona.
Okay. I would then to Boken then. I'm the things that you like about it, like if you really really like the social links, that's not going to be in Shin Megami Tensei 5, but instead like expect like all the other elements to be like amplified.
What about the time management though? That's not in there.
No time management. Well, maybe they'll add it into 5.
It's a tough sell, Daniel.
It's also going to be like post-apocalyptic rather than like contemporary.
Yeah, that's what I actually didn't like about it, is this dry, ugly post-apocalyptic setting.
Yeah, the way that Shin Megami Tensei 3 starts, for example, it's like you just start, it's like a normal day. You try to meet up with some friends, and then the apocalypse happens. And then the rest of the game is like wandering the fucking like wasteland.
Mm.
And then you fight Dante for some reason.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, is anyone here a Fatal Frame fan? Do they care about this game getting ported from Wii U to Switch?
Was this one of the bad ones or the good ones?
I don't know. I don't know much about Fatal Frame.
If this is if this gets decent reviews, I'll check it out. But I don't care. I want to play Fatal Frame, the original game still. I hear good things.
Okay. Let's see. Advanced Wars is coming to Switch. It's getting a reboot, remake, reimagining, blah blah blah, whatever.
I don't know what that is.
They're like grid-based,
I didn't ask.
Tactical strategy games. They're strategy games.
It's a remake of a thing, get excited.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's good though, because those games were stuck on the Game Boy Advance for like so many years now. It is nice to bring them back. So I think it's good. Danganronpa is getting ported to the Switch. That's cool, I guess.
I was always interested in Danganronpa, just from like cultural osmosis of people talking about those games. And then I saw that trailer, and now I'm not interested anymore. Like, that looks like garbage.
I mean, a lot of people like this series.
Yeah,
like,
I know people who love Danganronpa.
I know Matt Commentaries, he really likes it. Joseph Anderson played through them. He really liked them.
Conceptually, they sound like cool ideas, but then I was like, okay, I don't appreciate the art style of this. And then
I like the art style. I like the style. It's very different. Like, it's anime, but it's also not anime.
No, it looks very weird. It doesn't look like generic anime.
It doesn't. That's why I like it. Even if it's not appealing, the fact that it's different is enough for me to go like, yeah, this is cool.
There were gameplay elements that I didn't expect to be there. Like, I knew this was going to be about this school council or whatever, and then people keep dying. But then, but you get accused, and now you can kick the other person or some shit. Like, it was, I don't know.
I believe
it probably makes more sense when you actually play the game.
Probably.
This probably was just like confusing to anyone that isn't already aware.
Yeah, it's probably being marketed to the people who know. I believe way too much of Japanese media revolves around school councils. I mean, just this needs to stop.
Way too much Japanese media revolves around high school in general.
Your life just ends when you grow up?
Yeah, in Japan, because then you start working and then you have nothing else in your life.
Yeah, because you start working and you have to draw anime about school.
Yeah, because the way that most everyone else views college is the way that Japanese society looks at high school. Because for them, high school is like the highlight of your life. Those are like your golden years.
If your golden years,
everyone else is college.
If your golden years are like when you were in college, you are a loser. Just gotta put it out there. Like, life is like, oh my god, remember back in my early 20s, those 4 years, those were really the times. Get a life, accomplish something. What is this? This is so sad.
Shut the fuck up.
No, this is true.
No, it's not true. Like, college was a good time. You were studying a thing you cared about. You had enough free time to actually do other shit. I'm sure a lot of people went partying.
You can study. Oh yeah! Wow. Great. It's sad, is what.
Wow, people looking bad at times where they had a lot of free time and were able to party and fuck around. Like, how shocking!
How dare they?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying make something of your life. I'm saying don't be one of those people who like, oh, you know, I used to be quite a quarterback back when I was 18 years old. What? It's been 50 years, and like lives off of that for the rest of their lives.
You sound like a shitty motivational speaker.
Me?
Yeah.
I could be a shitty motivational speaker. Anyways, I'm saying when you're 50 years old, you probably should have had something greater happen to you than going to college. You know, like having a family, getting to watch your children grow up. You know, that sort of stuff.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, well.
Fuck having children.
You will have no one
you
looking...
get stuck in work, and then you get stuck in your shitty family life, and then you have no other time to explore
the word
hobbies.
stuck. The word stuck is so cynical. Like you get stuck with family. No, you choose to have a family. Most people do.
Folks, you can quote Boken. He says, "Fuck them kids."
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it was actually really funny. Like a colleague of mine recently had a kid, and it's now like whatever.
Was it Daniel?
1 year old or whatever. And we one day we had this random talk about our workplace, and we eventually got to the point where he said, "Yeah, I mean it's fine here. I enjoy that I still have enough free time to do, you know, for my private life." And then I was like, "But don't you have a kid? Don't you spend all your time with your kid?" And then he looked at me like, "Yeah, that's what I consider free time," and that just perplexed me. Like that's
because he loves his child. You robot.
I know. that didn't even pop in my head that he would consider spending time with this annoying child like as free time.
You should
just
move
an obligation
to
Japan. To me.
You should move to Japan and make anime about being in high school, which is apparently the greatest thing a person can do.
No, that's why they make anime about high school where they didn't make anime.
Amazing. All right, so
well, that's the Breath of the Wild preamble, I believe. This fucking talk.
All right, yeah. What do we have to say about Breath of the Wild 2?
Lame. No.
I honestly, I have to say that Link's hair looks fabulous.
Yeah. I remember you pressuring me to create a hunk section in our in our award ceremony, the coveted Essay and Espresso Award Show, the SAE. And you begged me, you pressured me to make a hunk section.
Yes.
Because I already had a babe section. And then, because I was talking...
Equal opportunity,
yeah,
my friend.
No, hold on though. Because you specifically mentioned Link, and then we disqualified Link because he's not a hunk. I think we even put Ganondorf on there.
I mean, I guess Ganondorf is more of a hunk than...
He's way more of a hunk.
No, we didn't put Ganondorf on there. Ganondorf wasn't in any game in that year.
Yeah, he was in Hyrule. He was in Age of Calamity, wasn't he?
I mean,
but Ganondorf is a fucked up monster in Breath of the Wild.
Is he? Yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah, you never see him in that like Twilight Princess form.
The problem
I will not have you dissuade. I will not have you attack the SAE Boken just because Final Fantasy VII Remake won. You've been salty ever since.
Because, well, the problem with calling Link a hunk is that he's actually a twink.
The what is her name? Princess Urbosa? Is that her name?
Oh,
She's
Rosa,
more of
yeah.
a hunk than Link.
That's true. That's true. You're not even wrong.
Yeah. Maybe we put the fish guy in the hunk section. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Sidon, that was his name.
We didn't have a game of the year. The Essay and Espresso podcast didn't even exist in the year that Breath of the Wild came out. What the fuck are you talking about?
We nominated it for Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
Age of Calamity came out.
Did anyone even... whatever.
Anyways, so it looks like Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be focused on time travel, which I guess makes sense. It's not like Zelda hasn't ever done that before. But it looks like there's going to be actual game mechanics surrounding it, which that hasn't been done as much. Like Ocarina of Time obviously had going back and forth between Kid Link and Adult Link, and there were some mild gameplay variations that resulted in that.
I would say Majora's Mask had some heavy gameplay gameplay sections having to do with time travel, but okay.
Yeah. I was saying Ocarina of Time specifically.
Okay.
But yes, you're right. Majora's Mask, the core gameplay conceit was centered around time travel, given the 3-day time limit, and you could like speed up time and slow it down and keep going back to the first day.
Didn't Skyward Sword have these time
See, I haven't played
or
Skyward
something?
Sword.
I haven't played Skyward Sword, and I
Okay.
don't want
Well, it has these orbs that you hit, and then they spread out another timeline. So, like, you see like this rusted old gate that you can't open, and then you need to.
They stole that from Ratchet and Clank. They did, and Mario Galaxy stole heavily from Ratchet and Clank too.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm sure about that, Daniel. I'm
Like-
pretty sure about that.
Well,
Breath of the Wild seems to go into the sky a lot, so I'm not sure if that is the Skyward Sword connection there.
Well, I remember, Daniel, when we were talking once about Breath of the Wild, we both agreed that we would, for a sequel, we think it would be improved by the removal of that hang glider crap. But it seems like instead of doing that, they're going to double down, and I think that's an interesting take.
And it seems I saw a lot of people say that they want to keep the durability system. They don't want it to go away. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of prefer the idea that like he has like a set move list rather than like, I don't know, a bunch of undercooked move lists with a bunch of different weapons.
What if I have a great compromise? What if people who want the durability system removed just shut the hell up, and the rest of us don't? No, I'm thinking.
I'm with you.
Did we see him?
I think that's a good compromise.
Did we see him use any weapons in the trailer? Because I'm thinking.
He was just
that's what I'm
gliding around.
thinking. I'm thinking they may have just stripped out weapons, and because he has that magic hand now, maybe they just incorporated all of those time freeze and magnet powers. Maybe just that's the only weapon, and you don't have swords,
let's be real
and spears
here.
and stuff.
Let's be real here. Combat has never been great in any Zelda game.
That's true.
I can't think of a single Zelda game where I was like, wow, that fucking combat though. But I have gone, wow, those fucking puzzles though. So I think if this game leans harder into really cool and interesting puzzles, that'd be playing more into the strengths of Zelda, in my opinion.
Okay.
Then again, I don't think they'll ever completely yank out combat. Because the thing is, Zelda has also been like a melting pot. Like it's always been this kind of like combination of elements that are kind of working seamlessly with each other. It's got the exploration, the puzzle solving, and the combat, all kind of like, balancing each other out and also working in terms of the pacing. You do some exploration, you get into a fight, you do a puzzle, it kind of balances itself out, and it keeps those games fresh in that sense. We'll see what they do with Breath of the Wild 2. I think a larger emphasis on puzzles would definitely appeal to me, but I would also like to see them do better with the combat. Like, I don't want them to just, because the combat in Breath of the Wild is more interesting, like conceptually, than it is like actually to play. Because like if you play it like a normal person, the combat's just kind of whatever. The only time combat becomes really cool and interesting is when you watch someone else do all these insane tricks.
When you watch some Japanese guy do those crazy tricks, yes.
But
it's always some crazy Japanese guy.
Yeah, but they're playing at an unreasonably high level. Like, most normal people are not going to get to that level, and that's
normal
fine.
People. Wow, Daniel, you don't think Japanese people are normal?
I'm not. I didn't use the word Japanese.
Do you like how I? Yeah. Do you like how I kept forcing the Japanese into the conversation?
But normally, I think that's fine. Like when I play Devil May Cry, for example, I'm not playing on the same level as like any of these people that release these combo videos, but I'm still able to perform at a level where the combat is still fun and interesting in and of itself. But with Breath of the Wild, for the person with like the average skill level, they're never gonna feel like getting even close to something like that. So I'm just hoping that they do at least something to the combat to make it more engaging for the average player.
Hmm. They had a section where Link was sort of phasing into the ground from the bottom to the top.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. No. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm interested in seeing what else they do with exploration.
I mean, I have to imagine, though, that those have to be, like, under certain conditions. They can only be with certain types of floors. Like, obviously, you're not going to be able to phase through, like, the ground and just, like, fall into the center of the earth.
No, but I think... See, because Breath of the Wild was so focused on being open, I'm thinking... Yeah, I'm thinking, are you just going to be able to phase through dungeons? I don't want it to be I don't want this power to be limited if the game is going to still let me climb up whatever I want to climb.
See, like it reminds me of Metal Gear Rising and why that game had to be retooled so heavily, because the problem that the developers kept coming to was like, well, if you could cut anything, then why can't you just cut through to the ending of the level? Right? Like, just like, why even bother with any of the challenges of the level when you can just cut through a building and then, okay, I'm at the end of the level?
That's a dumb question. Did they really ask themselves that?
Well, that was the problem that kept happening, was that like the cutting mechanic was too good and it kept invalidating the gameplay.
So wait, testers, they would just try to cut their way to the end?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because what's the point of like going through the levels as intended if you can just carve a way through and just like ignore everything?
And you could do that? You could just cut your way through houses?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
That's why in the Platinum Games version, like the cutting is significantly cut down.
Why did you say it so strangely?
I don't know. You tell me.
You're weird. Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to have a lady knight with a fat ass for you? Is that what you're hoping for?
I already got Urbosa, so I'm good.
She's not a knight.
No, but she's a warrior.
I guess. You're a weird guy,
So, being serious, I don't think that mechanic is going to go beyond like very contextual use. I don't think they're going to let you phase through walls, because that's just going to, like I said with Metal Gear Rising, it's just going to invalidate a lot of the game's design, and it's not going to be fun because,
Well, you say that, but you say that, but if you'd have told me 10 years ago that, oh, there's going to be this open world game and you can just climb your way right to the end and not do any of the stuff, I don't know if I would have said, oh yeah, that's going to be fun, but then we have Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, like that's exactly the point is if this only goes upwards, then this is just another climbing. And then eventually you will reach the ceiling or the roof of whatever structure you're in, and then that's the end point.
But the thing is, Breath of the Wild was still able to put meaningful challenges in the game that you couldn't just climb your way out of literally every situation, right? Like there were some situations where you couldn't climb, or climbing was like hindered in some way. Like they still found ways to make it challenging and interesting. So I don't know. Maybe they will let you just phase through everything, but it'll have certain limitations. We'll see what happens.
Are you at all excited for this game?
No,
having seen the trailer?
Not at all. I want them to make anything else than a sequel. You're not gonna make the Breath of the Wild lighting hit twice. It's just not gonna happen.
You don't know. Empire Strikes Back exists.
I know that exactly. You can't.
What if they?
Unless this game is completely different than the original Breath of the Wild, it's not gonna be the same. They have they have revolutionized in a way what open world games are. You can't do that twice with the same ingredients.
You say that. You say that.
It doesn't need to revolutionize it again.
No, but then you only get more of the same, or a more refined version of the same, and it's not gonna hit the same way.
See, that's not necessarily true, because you have Ocarina of Time, and then you have Majora's Mask.
Yes.
And these are the same people, largely, that did that. So if anybody can make lightning strike twice, I think it's these guys.
That's true. I mean, Majora's Mask used a lot of the same game mechanics, assets, but like they were still able to do a lot of very different, unique, and interesting things. With
it doesn't
invalidate
Ocarina of Time in any way either. They're very different games.
Yes. And when just looking at some of the new gameplay ideas in Breath of the Wild 2, it looks like it is taking a different tact with the time travel mechanics. Being able to stop time and then move it forward, reverse it or forward and stuff like that. That looks interesting. That's not.
Do you think Shigeru Miyamoto? I don't know how involved he is with the design of these games.
Probably not much.
Do you think Aonuma likes to use time travel in these games because he's getting old and he's trying to live out his youth?
He wants to turn back the clock again?
Yes. Do you think that he regrets wasting his life making these kid video games for grown-ups to complain about 20 years later?
You think that's an unconscious?
No, I think it's very conscious.
Maybe. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's everything.
Is it though, Daniel? Or is there a secret final announcement?
I don't know. Is there?
There may very well be.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about who won E3. But before... No. Hold on. Before we discuss that, this is the coveted SA3 award. Like our SAE award, but with an E3 in there.
I mean, essays in Espresso and Espresso?
Excuse me?
E3.
Yeah, sorry. I'm stupid. I don't know if you knew this. E5.
E5.
In the end segment of my last Guardian video, I showcased a bit of gameplay footage from my game, and I released that this Friday, yesterday, when we record this. I will posit that counts, and I vote for myself winning E3. So I'm gonna need some other votes. It's a 2 out of 3 system.
Well, I vote for Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo.
I don't think. See, I don't think you recognize that you have to vote for the best game, not the best studio. And since I'm the only one who voted for a game, I think you guys kind of threw your votes away, if that makes sense.
Do I get a revote?
No, why would you?
Because it seems only fair.
Okay.
Well, okay, you fucked up now, because now I'm gonna vote for Microsoft. Because they had replaced.
Well, congratulations, you wasted your vote again. You didn't vote for a game.
No, I'm voting for replaced.
Oh yeah, huh. Okay, well, so I'll take a tie with replaced. That's fine.
I'll go for replaced as well.
No.
Oh, shit.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, replaced looks really, 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 really good.
I think I'll vote for Starfield. That's the game, not because it was the best looking game, but that's the game I'm the most interested in that. Like replaced, I know exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like Katana Zero. It's gonna be cool,
you don't.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool, it's gonna be fun. But this game is not gonna do anything.
From what we've seen, it can be a narrative game. We don't know.
Yeah,
they didn't show a lot of gameplay.
Sure. But I'm still interested in Starfield. I think that game is the most interesting for me. Psychonauts 2, I mean, I had seen from that already. I'm scrolling through here.
You know what I didn't talk about? Is Gecko Gods, which they had on the wholesome part of whatever that was. Where it looks a lot like, it's a platformer where you play a gecko. And it reminded me a lot of Snake Pass. Because it seems to be revolving around just having a more interesting movement system based on the animal that you're playing. So I'm hopeful that is going to be cool.
I just thought of a really funny thing, but we can't say it in a podcast. All right then. What game do you look most forward to, Daniel?
No, the same as Boken.
Replaced. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks really good.
You betrayed me. Neither one of you will be talking about Replaced a year from now. I promise you that.
Okay. If you say so.
I didn't want to undercut your announcement that you made a game, though.
We didn't talk about Game & Watts Zelda. That looked horrible. That was like a real just blow the wind right out of my sails.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this E3 wasn't that good.
It kinda fucking sucked.
And people keep going, oh, like Sony left because they can do their own thing and they're way better and blubbity blubbity. Sony won because they didn't show up. That's true. But they didn't win because they didn't show up. You don't win unless you participate.
Nintendo won because they had a decent conference.
Yeah.
Even though I don't care about the games. They delivered on what people are looking forward to.
That's true.
Yes, they didn't try to sell me a subscription service.
And there's no the fucking the Nintendo Direct, like this the format they're going with. I appreciate that it's lean and that there's none of this stupid marketing bullshit talk of some suit standing on stage and telling everyone how great gaming is. It's just it's easy to sit through a Nintendo Direct.
We are really devoted to putting the best experience forth for you, the gamer. It's like, get out of here, you wanker.
Every time they say, for you, the gamer, I want to die inside. Like, you don't call me that. How fucking dare you? I'm offended.
That's our word.
You fucking piece of shit.
And he said it with a hard R even. I'll probably wind up cutting that joke.
All right.
Anyways.
I think we're done. With
Yes.
E3. Next episode should be a normal episode.
No, it should be an Avatar episode.
Oh, I guess you're right.
That's right.
Next 2 are probably Avatar episodes.
Yes, and then we have a few more in the backlog. And then,
we have one
next
more in
time
the
we
backlog.
record, Daniel, you'll get to know whether or not I watched War in the Pocket.
Oh, God. Why are you fucking with me with this for so long? What is wrong with you? Genuinely. What the fuck, man?
Maybe I watched it this time. Maybe I watched Family Guy again. Who knows?
I'm going to say this, and I mean this honestly and sincerely from the bottom of the cockles of my heart.
Cockles.
Go fuck yourself. Piece of fuck.
I think we can cut it right there. Just put the music in.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Oh, no, wait.
What?
C3, you later. That's our E3 sign-off. We all have to say it.
No.